Senior officials, including Defense Minister Yoav Gallant and IDF Chief Herzi Halevi, reportedly informed Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Saturday evening that his insistence on new terms could jeopardize the ongoing negotiations for a ceasefire and hostage release. In response, Netanyahu asserted that it was Hamas, not himself, who was introducing new demands. Channel 12 News cited both Halevi and Gallant as claiming that Netanyahu was fully aware that the new conditions he was proposing, which are believed to be part of an updated Israeli proposal, would ultimately doom the deal. The revised proposal reportedly includes demands for an inspection mechanism to prevent combatants from moving to northern Gaza, for Israel to maintain a presence along the Gaza-Egypt border, known as the Philadelphia Corridor, during the initial phase of the agreement, and for Israel to receive a list of all living hostages that Hamas will release as part of the deal. These demands were not part of an Israeli proposal submitted on May 27, which was later publicly disclosed by U.S. President Joe Biden and is strongly opposed by Netanyahu's far-right allies. There is no security reason to delay the deal. To speak frankly, you are making considerations that are not in the best interest of the situation, Gallant reportedly told Netanyahu during a high-level security meeting on Wednesday night. Halevi added, regarding Philadelphia, I do not recommend that we make it an obstacle that prevents us from bringing home 30 people in the first stage of the deal, half of whom are women. In response, Channel 12 quoted a senior source, believed to be Netanyahu himself, accusing his critics of acting out of political motives. Last month, Netanyahu introduced several non-negotiable demands to the hostage deal proposal, including Israeli control over the Philadelphia Corridor along Gaza's border with Egypt and the Netzarim Corridor, which currently divides the Strip. The May proposal does not specify that Israeli troops will be allowed to remain in the Netzarim and Philadelphia corridors. In fact, it calls for the withdrawal of Israeli forces eastward away from densely populated areas along the borders in all areas of the Gaza Strip, including Gaza Valley, Netzarim Axis, and Kuwait Roundabout. Meanwhile, Channel 13 News reported that the United States expressed frustration that Israel has backed off from a deal it had proposed. Unnamed Egyptian sources indicated that the assassination of Haniya has stalled the talks, but they are not expected to be delayed for long. The leaks and false briefings by unknown parties in the media create a misleading narrative for the public, the Prime Minister's office stated on Saturday evening, following reports that Shin Bet chief Ronan Bar had accused Netanyahu of making changes to Israel's proposal during negotiations. According to Khan, members of the negotiating team warned Netanyahu that his stance on the Netzarim corridor could collapse the deal and that we approved a proposal that treats the corridor differently. While Prime Minister Netanyahu agreed to the outline, Hamas is attempting to introduce numerous changes that effectively nullify it, Netanyahu's office responded, asserting that he had not added anything to the outline and continues to adhere to the basic conditions for Israel's security. Anyone who suggests conceding to Hamas's demands for the sake of gaining applause in the media undermines the chances for the release of the hostages and brings us back to the societal rifts of October 6, the PMO claimed, without clarifying how this aligns with the absence of Netanyahu's new demands from the full May 27 proposal. According to a Friday report from Channel 12 regarding Wednesday night's high-level meeting, Israel's security chiefs urged Netanyahu to capitalize on the momentum from recent strikes on senior Hamas and Hezbollah leaders to secure a hostage ceasefire deal with Hamas. This meeting followed an Israeli strike in Beirut that killed Hezbollah commander Fuad Shukr on Tuesday night and the killing of Hamas chief Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran early Wednesday morning. Israel has neither confirmed nor denied responsibility for that attack. During the meeting, Mossad chief David Barnea, who has been leading Israel's negotiations, reportedly stated that a deal was ready and that Israel should accept it. However, Netanyahu reportedly interrupted his security chiefs, banging on the table and accusing them of being poor negotiators, a claim later denied by the Prime Minister's office. You are weak. You don't know how to conduct a tough negotiation. You are putting words in my mouth. Instead of pressuring the Prime Minister, put pressure on Hamas Gaza chief Sinwar, he allegedly shouted. Speaking on Khan's main evening news program on Friday, Walla News political correspondent Tal Shalev reported that Netanyahu had intended to dismiss Gallant upon his return from the United States, but the decision was postponed due to Hezbollah's deadly attack on Majd al-Shams and the recent killings of two terror chiefs.